There's so much awful, serious, terrible news about these days. It's grim. It's all just so terribly grim. So I thought this Sunday morning I might bring you a little good news. How about some? Here's something for you. Black Lives Matter is going broke.
Yay!
Ooh. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yes. Remember Black Lives Matter? The group that was behind the Summer of Love protests back in 2020 when the left wasn't just boycotting Target, but looting them and burning them down. The group that inspired so many great moments in Orwellian press coverage, including when a CNN reporter stood in front of a burning downtown and reported on, quote, mostly peaceful protests. The group whose founders had a goal, which they later deleted from their website, to disrupt the nuclear family, and whose founders, well, listen for yourself.
We actually do have an ideological frame. Myself and Alicia in particular are trained organizers. We are trained Marxists. We are super versed on sort of ideological theories.
Not just versed, but super versed in ideological theories. Yes, I mean, they must be a lot of fun at parties. But it turns out that this Marxist-Leninist vanguard front group for the Democrat Party, come on, let's call things what they are, right? Has run into Margaret Thatcher's own ironclad law that socialism doesn't work because eventually you run out of other people's money. And now they are going broke. The group's most recent tax filings have revealed that Black Lives Matter is bleeding cash and is now something like $8.5 million in the red. Not only that, somehow the grift just isn't happening for them anymore. The documents show that BLM raised $9.3 million last financial year. That's an 88% drop from 2021. And then compliance and transparency issues in several liberal states also forced BLM's shutdown of its online fundraising streams early last year. How's that for irony? Not only that, reports show that BLM, quote, has blown through two-thirds of the $90 million it raised in the wake of George Floyd's death in the summer of 2020. And how they blew through it. It's not hard to figure that BLM was little more than, to be kind, a sort of freelance reparations operation, with its founders, among other things, using donor funds to build a multi-million-dollar property empire, which the New York Post memorably christened Black Lives Matters. Right. Love our friends at the New York Post. But who could blame them? After all, remember Patrisse Cullors, who we saw before saying she was a trained Marxist? Well, apparently she found all those complicated things like donation disclosure forms and financial statements, known as Form 990s in the U.S., all a bit triggering.
First of all, number one, I actually did not know what 990s were before all of this happened.
It's confusing.
So part of the opportunity here is to educate our folks. Like, something's being weaponized against us that many people don't even know and honestly don't care about.
I didn't know about them until they started asking us for them for COVID relief funds. I said, you need my 990. Had to call the accountant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the accountant handled that. Like, I don't know what that is. It is such a trip now to hear the word, the term 990s. I'm like, ugh, it's like triggering.
And given that they're admitted communists, I suppose we're all lucky that that's all that they found triggering. But as for all those who lost everything in the riots that BLM inspired and provoked and egged on, well, that's Marxism for you. Get with the program, kulaks.